Good morning, guys. Good morning. How are you folks doing? My beautiful viewers, today's date is February 9th, 2026. Once again, today's date is February 9th, 2026. Now, I've done two videos on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, and this is going to be my third, and there's a reason why. Second one I talk about big quakes happening in the Caribbean, how it's going to affect certain places, and guys, in the past 24 hours, and I did mention in my last video that along the mid-Atlantic ridge, they're going to have new land formation coming through the water and other small island disappearing, especially around the British Virgin Islands. In the past 24 hours, folks, the last time I did that video, the British Virgin Islands got hit with over close to 60 earthquake. They range anywhere between 2.9 all the way up to 4.5 magnitude. Listen to what I'm saying to you carefully. The British Virgin Islands got hit with over 60 earthquake. Actually, in the past, 15, 16 hours? At least 60 of them. Anywhere between 2.5 to 4.5 magnitude. Something is happening in the Caribbean, guys, and it's not looking pretty at all. Big quakes are coming for the Caribbean in the coming days. So I'm gearing you guys up for this. British Virgin Islands, you guys are in trouble. Also, let me go back. You are also going to feel quake around Punta Cana and also the southern part of Puerto Rico. Between Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic, where you find Punta Cana, guys, it's going to have a lot of earthquakes. So I'm preparing you guys for this. But the areas that I want you guys to pay attention to is British Virgin Islands. Let me put it like this. If an earthquake hit in the British Virgin Islands over 7.0 magnitude, it's going to be a tsunami. All right? Puerto Rico, you will be affected by this. Dominican Republic, you will be affected by this. So I'm putting this out there from now. Something is building up in the Caribbean, and I've been warning about this for quite a while. And I talk a lot about the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. What's happening? I will talk about it a little bit again in this video. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge, guys. This is what's happening. It's the longest fault line on the planet. It run all the way from the Arctic all the way down to Antarctica. It run all the way between New Zealand, which is basically split, not New Zealand, sorry, Iceland. It run all the way through Iceland, which is splitting Iceland in two, basically. I read an article where a gentleman actually in Iceland fell into a ground crack and went missing. They couldn't even find him because the hole is so deep. I'm just gonna put that out there so you have an idea of the ground cracks that's happening right now in Iceland. So, in the water, the Atlantic Ocean, the fault line is basically it's not pushing together; it's splitting apart. It's pushing away from each other. Basically, it's widening. So when it widen the fault line, magma come through the opening and create new rock form. When it cool, it create new rock formation. So as when it spread this way, magma come up and rock formation keep. Basically, it's creating new land, uh, new rocks is being formed under the Atlantic Ocean, and it's going to push right up through the water. Same thing going to happen in the Caribbean Ocean because this fault line run right along the British Virgin Islands, guys. Yes, it moved right along the British Virgin Islands, run all the way, basically, it's facing the eastern part of the North American continent, run all the way down, run right past the Caribbean, right next to South America, going all the way down to Antarctica. So yes, it traveled right next to the Caribbean, which is not that far from British Virgin Islands in the water, and it's also facing the eastern part of Canada and New York, New Jersey, and these other places, which will see the same thing that's happening in the Caribbean. There is a drastic increase with this fault line, the separation of this fault line, guys. Experts have basically concluded this. The the widening of the fault line has increased. So the damage that's happening in Iceland also has increased. Land formation is being formed a lot faster under the water than ever before. So again, as I said before, islands in the Caribbean, there's certain islands around, especially around the British Virgin Islands, they're going to disappear. They're going to, because the Atlantic Ocean is getting bigger, it's getting wider. But nobody want to talk about this. Why is it getting wider? Due to the fact that the Mid-Atlantic Ridge is changing, is acting up. It's actually creating new land formation as we speak at a rate that experts have never seen before. But once again, head on a swivel for the Caribbean. This video, especially for the Caribbean, head on a swivel, especially British Virgin Islands, southern part of Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, also between Cuba and Haiti. Let me go all the way down to Martinique, Grenada, and also Trinidad and Tobago. Earthquakes are coming, guys. Whether you want to believe it or not, you're going to see everything unfold. I promise you. This year for the Caribbean is going to be extremely interesting. And not just for the Caribbean, it's going to be interesting for South Carolina, Ohio, New Jersey, New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, the eastern part of Canada, Ottawa, Montreal, Quebec, Toronto. All these places are going to get hit so bad with seismic activity in 2026. Watch everything unfold. Watch. And just remember, when it does happen, remember one thing. I told you so.